sunset runs and just cuddling up in the car, tripping it out with your best friend. There are some rough and ugly and nasty times. I say this because it has happened to us before. It happened to me before. Otto has thrown up in the car multiple times. I do believe it is because he gets motion sickness, and with after consuming liquids or food, the motion of the car just does not suit well for his stomach. If I do feed Otto, it'll be before I go to the gym or leave for the day, or and you know settling down for, let's say, an hour or at least more than 30 minutes. All right, so for number two, I have thresholds. Okay, you want your dog to have mental thresholds or have the mental capacity to hold themselves back in highly stimulating environments and when they're in a state of excitement. He is not able or supposed to just bolt out of the car. You want your dog to be able to hold themselves back and wait for your okay or command. I'm going to give you guys an example right now. We just slept here for the night and he obviously has to pee. He has not peed yet. So I'm going to get out of the car and you're going to see that he waits for my okay to get out of the car. And I'll give you guys more scenarios in just a bit. Okay. While I grab my clothes from the back, I'm going to leave my front door open to see if Otto is able to hold himself back, knowing that there is a lot more going on outside than in here, and if he will just bolt out of the door doing whatever the heck he wants. Good boy. All right, hopefully you guys are seeing why I believe this rule is so important. Okay, you wouldn't let a child run off the sidewalk into the street. You wouldn't let your child jump out of a car without checking the surroundings first. It's the same principle. And if your dog does fly out of cars, a way you can train them not to, you're gonna open the door and let them fly out the door. Once they do that, immediately put them back into the car and pretty much reset. Eventually they will understand that, hey, maybe I should wait to get what I want. So the whole goal for them is to come out of the car, is to get out of the car. They are not used to waiting, so forcing them to constantly reset is going to put them in a state of let me try something else to get what I want. And that try something else is to sit there patiently until I say okay. All right, so the last tip I have is communication. Okay, you want to have good communication with your dog, especially living in such a confined, small space. Just being able to tell him what I want, what I need from him, and him understand what I want from him just helps a ton. I'm going to tell him to do something, and he knows exactly what I want for him to do, which makes life living in here so much better. Otto, go back. In certain situations, I don't need him up here in the front seat. I would much rather have him in the back, out of the way. This relieves so much stress and frustration just knowing that I can tell him where to be and what to do in our car. And it just makes things almost seamless. If things are a little bit chill up here, if there's not a lot of traffic and I don't mind him up here, I can call him up here. Otto, come on, come on. It's okay. Come on.
He's like, I don't want to.
See, he was a little bit hesitant because I had literally just told him to get back. So in his brain, he's like,
Dogs are so smart.
up here. So just having effective communication helps tremendously. All right, y'all. So yeah, those are my tips on how to be successful and make life better living in your car with your dog. I don't feed Otto before we're about to drive. I make him wait for my command before he gets out of the car. And effective communication. That way he knows what I expect from him while inside the car. Okay, those are my tips. Go ahead and give me a like and subscribe if you want to hear or see more tips about how I live in my car with my dog Otto and for other car life.
And that is always Dante and Otto. Hi, y'all. How y'all doing today? Guys, another tip that he had on another video that took a little longer was he don't uh give Otto anything to drink 30 minutes before bedtime. That way he could be sleep through the night without having to use the bathroom because obviously he's stealth camping in his car. And so that is the only reason why he does that. And that's always Dante, always D, capital DANTE. And yeah. So guys, welcome back. I can smell the weekend. And this is Love's virtual carpool. And I haven't been putting my um the name of the show up because nobody's really familiar with the show yet. And so I've just been basically saying what I'm going to be featuring that day. Tomorrow being Friday, and every Friday, if you don't want to watch through the week, I'll have the wrap up of the week of what I've done each day of the week and little shots, preview shots of that, and basically sum up the week like that. So, but the only thing you'll be missing out on this month and next month is the fact that I am having a Love's gas card giveaway. And that's basically, I'm getting 7 words this month, and it's not going to be the same time. It's not going to be the same. Um, it's not going to be every day, of course. 7 words. And on the 29th, whoever puts that sentence on my live or the words on the live up under the live or up under the posting of the live, which I post these lives first, whichever comes first, then I'll then by your choice, Apple, Cash App, uh, or PayPal, $50. So look out for that. Um, Today's word is love. And I've given this will be the third word this month. So we got four more, of course. And before I get started, I'm going to say, give a scripture, and then we'll move on to our next um, tips, pros and cons from a car lifer or van lifer. Okay, I'm at Proverbs 3:11 through 16. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof that than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou chance desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. And wisdom, there is nothing that you can compare to wisdom. Nothing that is more pleasurable. Um, Solomon, when he was asked what he want of the Lord, he wanted wisdom. Wisdom was the first thing that he wanted, was wisdom. And I find that you could have asked for, I want all the riches in the world. But if you don't have the wisdom to keep it, you say, want I want many friends, real friends that really love me. I want a family that really love me. I want stay in good company all the days of my life. Well, if you don't have the wisdom of how to treat the people in your life or how to maintain that friendship and give back equally, you know, and how to read people personality, know when to back off, know how to um, of course, they have to equally respect you, but respect people as they respect you, or if they don't respect you, remove yourself. And then anything you could think of, only wisdom will help you maintain it. And if you don't have wisdom, then you don't realize how important it is to pray and maintain a close relationship with God, which is the next point. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. And I always compare our parenting to the Lord's parenting, to our Father's parenting, to Him giving us timeouts, to Him, the timeouts being isolation, to him allowing certain things to happen so that we can relate with other people when we get to a certain point in our lives that he knows where he's going to raise us to. And some of us have experienced poverty, backstabbing, um, different things. And just as a righteous royalty, we have to have experienced those things in order to have, just like Joseph, have the right compassion and the right understanding of those in that position instead of always having a judgment type of, okay, well, it depends on what mood I'm in. So we have to be aware that we can't just skate through life. We have to have challenges, just like children have to, just like he was saying with the dogs. Of course, we don't compare ourselves with dogs, but I'm saying the understanding of the mind. He have to do a reset in order for him to figure out, okay, I'm doing something wrong here. And it can't be somebody telling you. Sometimes people can learn by what we tell them if they're wise, but sometimes our feelings and our wanting to understand for ourselves, as I used to put it, no, I want to understand for myself. I don't believe this high. Yeah. Uh, so the Lord chastens who he loves. And then that is the scripture for today. Hope y'all doing good today. Ladies, have you ever been excited about what you was going to wear? You finally can fit those jeans or that dress or whatever, and then you go to put it on, and then at the very last minute that you're going to be saying, something spills on it. I'm like, oh no, why you couldn't wait till later? And it's got to be just extra, couldn't even wipe it off or nothing. That's my explanation. Mm. Okay, moving on, guys. Always, Dante, that was great advice, dude. I was gonna have my friend LJ and Ori on, but I noticed that she wasn't giving tips in hers. But I'm just gonna introduce you guys to them in a bit. But I want to get the tips out the way because sometimes I run out of time, and I certainly don't want to. And this is a good pro and con here. Here we go.
Macy, I found the tips.I, aren't you hungry? They say they're good for companionship, but Macy and her
Yeah.
wet, sandy self has just been circling around me like a shark. Somehow Macy still has the energy after all day today. We're Zach and Allie, and you're watching Nomadic Habits.
That's her name.
Good morning, girls.
It's sometimes hard for me to remember their inside infos.
Hiking with dogs, the pros, the cons, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun while we're doing it. So first things first, we should get in. Let's get them walking.
Yeah. Companionship was one, huh?
Don't judge me, but I'm totally wearing my pajamas to walk the girls this morning. But it feels so good, and the sun is finally out. So we're gonna go for an extra long walk. Sometimes trying to hold two leashes and film is very difficult, which is kind of what's going on right now. While I'm getting the girls food, I thought I should talk about the first con, and that is space.
Oh, I thought that maybe we should,
We actually have three different beds for the dogs. We have one that we pull out every night, one that used to be our sofa but is now a permanent dog bed, and we have our swivel seat that Macy, for some reason, has decided to call her bed whenever she doesn't feel like being in the other two. Not to mention, I have an extra towel for them. We have their basket of toys. I have doggy bags. I have doggy brushes. I have doggy shampoos. I've got long leads for them, and I've got short leads for them, and the list just goes on. So it's not necessarily how much space they're taking up in your tiny home, it's how much space are you willing to give them. Guess we're going for another walk now. Come on, girls. One of my favorite pros about having dogs in the van is companionship. We're thousands of miles away from friends and family, and with Zach gone, it's nice to have a couple of dogs to keep me company. Macy, I'll say one of the biggest cons about having a dog in such a tiny space is they require a lot of exercise. So it means I have to come down and sit on the beach or take them to dog parks or do whatever I can to allow them to get the amount of exercise that they actually need. So while they're exercising, I typically bring a book or something to do, and we sit out for hours so they can run out as much energy as possible.
I want to say that also a way that you teach a dog in the first place, if you get them used to having this type of time out, and for their outing, then of course they're going to want this kind of time. But a lot of people get away with you know, just walking their dog, just taking a walk. But she has the, of course, luxury of a whole beach. But you'll see that how much time she spends not only doing this, but also cleaning them after being on the beach. That really, really go so much more into the day than it has to if it wasn't a big part of her pleasure as well. And that's another thing. Anytime we talk about our children, and when you see that somebody have a real love for anything, whether it's a dog, their fish, anything, it's so hard to bring up a con, and you'll see what I'm talking about because it's sort of like it's just like anytime I say something I'm not gonna say it's a con, but if I say something like that's a little off-putting about my son, my youngest son, I should say, then I also say something funny behind it, like, yeah, but I sort of need that because it just makes me feel younger or something because it's nothing that can really be bad. And pets are just like our children. So yeah. You'll see that.
While requiring a lot of energy is on the con list, I have to say it's also a part of the pro list.
See?
Because they require so much energy, it requires me to get out of my tiny space, out of my comfort zone, and go do something new to get energy out as well.
Mhm.
While this isn't a pro or con, it is important to know that your animals should know their basic commands: come, sit, stay. It is very, very important that they are on verbal leash at all times.
Always Dante was talking about this pretty much too.
Think we could stay out here and play all day long, but I've got to go back and get some things done now. So, let's see if I can't wrangle him up. Now, for some lettuce for lunch, because I literally have no idea what else to eat because I have to go grocery shopping while I'm eating lunch. I thought I should mention my next con. Dogs get really dirty. Now that we've been to the beach and they've rolled around in the sand, they're super muddy and really wet. That all of that dirt, all of that sand tracks right into there. So I have to clean multiple times a day. And though I just did this yesterday, I have to do this every single day. They are some hairy girls. Now that inside the van is clean, I'm going to brush them down, spray them with in between bath spray, and wipe any excess mud off them before they come in. Macy sheds so bad. You want to go get in your bed? But while we're talking about care for your pets, it's really important to note that they're going to their vet appointments, that they have a home vet, even if they don't have a permanent home. Because if they're happy, then you're. While the girls are relaxing and taking afternoon naps, I usually take this time to run errands. Since we're so close to town and it's such a beautiful day out today, I'm actually going to walk. But that brings me to my next pro: security. Dogs are a wonderful security option if you don't have any other precautions. As a van lifer, we take security super serious. And not only have we purchased slip locks to go on our sliding and back doors, but dogs are 100% the best security. If anyone walks up to this van while I'm eating, Macy and Marley are both going to growl or bark, and they're going to deter anyone from even getting near it. Not to mention, if walking them alone, Macy and Marley will both growl and bark to alert me that somebody is in the area that I should not trust. It's so windy today. Well, now that I've taken care of some errands here in town, I'm gonna head back and take the girls out again because I'm sure they need to use their restroom and they want to enjoy the sunshine as much as I do. But that kind of leads me to my next con. As much as I would have loved to bring them with me to town while I ran errands, not everywhere is pet friendly. So you really have to be cautious of where you're going and what you're doing. Some national parks aren't pet friendly, some hiking trails aren't pet friendly. Obviously, grocery stores and other places like that aren't pet friendly. So you just have to be cautious, look things up ahead of time, and to know what to do with your pups if you are somewhere that's not pet friendly. It might be beautiful out, but guys, I'm still cold. You can tell I'm not from the north.
And what time of day, of course, because you don't want to leave your pets in a car too hot or too cold, but that's obviously common sense.
Check out that view though. How pretty is that? A huge thing is making sure that your animal is safe and secure at all times. If the van is too hot, you don't go anywhere without them. And if it's too cold, you don't go anywhere without them. Luckily, we have a diesel heater, and I have a way of making sure that they can stay nice and toasty while I'm not running errands.
Mm.
We got Macy this little pig for her birthday, and every time you barely touch it, it like goes crazy making noises. So all day long, that is all I hear these days. Speaking of cons and how not everywhere is pet friendly, the one pro is there are a lot of pet friendly places. And if you are doing this lifestyle alone, or you're alone all the time, like I am, then having an animal actually helps you make friends. It's great conversation starters. And if you're in the right pet friendly places, doing the right pet friendly things, you're bound to find other animal lovers like yourself. I'm really having a hard time filming in the wind, and I'm kind of tired of trying to deal with the camera continuously getting knocked over. So I think I'm going to end the video here. If you liked this video, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe for weekly content. Whether you're watching this video because you're interested in the topic, or you plan on traveling with dogs, or whatever it is that may be, the biggest thing is making sure that they're happy, they're safe, they're comfortable, and it's like having children. You kind of have to live your life for them. But to be perfectly honest with you, I think that the pros 100% outweigh the cons.
Of course.
The most has made my life a lot more interesting.
Mm.
Until next time, guys. See you next Sunday. Macy.
And so that's habits, nomadic habits. And the first one was always Dante. I really enjoy watching both of their content, and they have great channels. So I always encourage you guys to go check them out because even if you're not living the van or car lifestyle, and you can't. I mean, if you didn't know that this was living in your van thing from the inside, don't it look like a real home? Sometimes I'll be forgetting that that's what I'm watching these, back to back. I keep on mentioning that I really enjoy these, but I meant that's what I'm saying. They're very enjoyable content, and so if you want real life, real stuff, these are 2 great, channels to check out. So, oopsie, moving on. I sort of want y'all to meet LJ. Yeah, let me show y'all LJ and Ori. Um, I really enjoy them. I have them up here. I don't know why I was watching so many of these. Oh, there go Ori. Right there. Oh, this is fast. She makes some great recipes. Um, so that's a great reason to follow her. Oh man. It's a short, so sometimes shorts don't come up on the TV. Dude, but anyway, LJ and Ori, that's the channel. And she got a great following and everything. And so that gives you some indication that that she's really likable. And so yeah, I like her personality because she's no nonsense, real talk. I really love real people. And so yeah, let's go with this one here.
Walk middle of the day if we're going to do a business. And it gets you out walking. So obviously my van's a very small space, and even on the cold, rainy days, I have to take the dog out. for a walk. So for that, it's really, really good. I can't just stay cooped up in my little space. I have to get out. And the fifth pro, which is kind of on this premise that I have to walk my dog twice a day, is I get to see a lot more of the area that I'm in, especially if I'm near a small town.
The reason why I didn't
I'm always walking.
The reason I started it here is because the first few is what we already went over as far as the dogs being commanded and be having to come sort of be off verbally off leash or whatever, and not bolting off the car, and also not giving them water right before a trip or where it's moving because sometimes they get motion sickness. So I started it later on because for time's sake.
All around. I see so much. And just in the countryside, walking with the dog, you get to see so much more that people miss. And I have been in, it's like a town, and see someone off the campground. I'm like, oh, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see this? They go, no. And I'm, oh, yeah, just walk around the streets. So walking around with the dog, I see so much. I really, really do. And my 6 Pro, which is on this helping to see more, my dog especially spots wildlife that I have walked straight past. So I'll be walking on a trail, and all of a sudden the dog will stop and she'll be looking intently at one direction. And I go to have a look, and multiple times there has been a little echidna curled up there that she has spotted. A few times she has spotted a snake that's been curled up, or it could be a lizard or something. But I have walked straight past it. I haven't noticed it, and she spotted it. Also, sometimes if we're camping, she'll hear a noise and she'll look up, and there'll be like kangaroos or emus or something off in the next paddock. And I never would have seen it if I was watching for what the dog is looking at. All right, my seventh pro is that my dog is my security alarm. So my dog in particular will bark and near the van, and she's quite an aggressive barker. She sounds quite scary. So it does give me peace of mind knowing no one's going to just sneak up on me. She is going to bark. So that's a bonus if you have a dog that does do that, that warns you. It's quite good security, especially if you're traveling alone like me. All right, let's get into the cons, which, this is just life. So the first thing is that my dog is aging, and she is 11 and a half, and she's no longer always able to jump into the van. Especially when we travel, she travels in the front seat, and I have to be able to pick her up to put her in there. So if you're traveling with a dog, keep that in mind. Are you able to pick them up into the van, or some people build a ramp and things like that? But my dog weighs between 18 and 19 kilos, and I can pick her up quite easily. I do stay strong. So, yeah, that's one issue with a dog. You might have to be able to pick them up to get them in the van. All right. The second con is that my dog in particular.
Also, they have these dog book bags that I had saw from another YouTuber, and they can actually walk into them, and then you could put it on your back to carry them if you have a big dog. So that's something good to look into from Amazon. And I'm sure as you're looking at that will pop up other different ideas for you.
Stiller does not deal with extreme temperatures very well. So when it gets really warm or really cold, she does not do well at all. I cannot stay anywhere. 30 degrees is really, really hot for her. And again, when it gets really cold, she'll shiver and shake and things like that. So that really does limit my travels in up the northern part of Australia, because it's pretty well always over 30 degrees Celsius up there. So we haven't been on the far north. That is a restriction you have with the dog, with the temperatures. You have to make sure your dog is comfortable. And our different breeds deal with temperatures differently. I had a blue heeler before her. They're tough as nails. Nothing bothered her. Abby is a beagle cross. She's got a quarter staffing in her, half a beagle and a quarter of some other stuff. And yet she's very sensitive to temperature. Okay, my third con is you can have limited access to vets while you're traveling. So I've been on the road for 4 years, and in those 4 years, I have seen 5 other vets that weren't our own vet. And that's I've seen New South Wales, Tasmania, a couple in West Australia, small country towns. And I did come across a problem in Tasmania where she developed this huge lump on the side of her head, and I couldn't get into a vet. No one would take. They were not taking on any new clients, and no one would see me. Sit down, princess. Sit down. And I couldn't get her in anywhere. I ended up finding a mobile vet to come out, and eventually ended up ringing around a lot of places to get into someone to actually to do a test on her. So that can be a problem, having access to vets when you're especially in remote places. I have had to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours just to get to a vet when I'm in a small country town. That's something to be able.
That goes back to the first, not the first one, not always Dante, but nomadic living, the second one, where she said she always have the same vet. And I have a little sister that is sister with Sistur, Tiny, and she well, now she has the same vet all the time, but it's good when you get a dog used to it, and then the vet used to the dog because it's already that separation anxiety, and them having to be there for quite a while in a day or whatever. So it's good for them to understand where they're going. Dogs are really very smart, especially if you're living on the road. I could see that being even a major thing. So I really could connect with the second one saying that they keep the same vet. And I think it's even better if you had kept the same groomer, where obviously I could see that being a problem simply because you don't want to drive back hours where you can just go down the street to get your dog groomed. But they usually stay there like half the day, because they be getting more than a few things done. Also, like to do your own dog's nails, than to do the medical use the medical um trimmers, the medical toenail trimmers. That's something that I just now found out about as I was doing research to see what videos would be um, good enough to play today on my show.
Aware of, and it's a decision.
I shouldn't say good enough. I should say what fit my show in time and what fit the show in, without repeating the same things and what I was looking for, I should say, because everybody I've seen is really good.
I have made this year to stay in Western Australia, where we are, as she gets older, where we are close to her vet, so that I can get her. They know all about her and whatever she's had, and I feel better for her. Okay, the fourth con is that you do have restricted access to places you can go. We cannot go into national parks with the dog.
Oh,
And there are some areas in Australia that have baiting, and they have signs up, so I can't go in there
I didn't know
with the
that.
dog. Now, this has never bothered me. Some people make a
Mm-mm.
big point about it, but it's never bothered me. Prior to living in the van, I have traveled a lot and a lot around Australia, and I've done a lot of the national parks and things like that, and done a lot of the sites. And it doesn't bother me that I can't do it with my dog. There are so many other places I can go. And so I really don't worry about it. And the dog's not going to live forever. And when she passes, I could always then go to the national
Oh
parks.
my
So for
God.
me, for now, it doesn't bother me at all. But it's something to be aware of. You are restricted as to where you can go. There are some places you can like go in as long as the dog doesn't get out of the van, you're okay. Some places, I know down south for the treetop walk down in Walpole, and it has, if you have a dog in the car, turn around now, you can't even go in.
Mm.
So yeah, so it does restrict you. All right, the fifth con is it takes up space in the van. So I live in a small space. Just about everything I own is in here. I have a small storage unit, but having a dog takes up a lot of space. So I carry her dog food in bulk, so I don't have to worry about getting that.
Uh-oh.
Shh.
That's good security, all right. I didn't see it all.
She just spotted two dogs.
Uh,
She saw them. Yeah, I know.
uh,
Anyway, she takes up
hey,
space
don't come next to my mama.
her bed, And obviously she's quite a size, so she takes up physical space in the van. So that's something to think about. I've seen some people traveling with a couple of big dogs, but they definitely take up space, and you need space for their stuff. My sixth and final con is that it can be challenging to go shopping, especially in the summer months.
Mm.
We're having to leave the dog in the van. I have made a video about it. I have got a playlist. We'll just let that car go past. I do have a
She's in Australia. I don't know if that's how it is with national parks here in the States. Also, my little sister, she's a little dog and a Yorkie, and my mom takes her shopping with her in a buggy like a kid in the front seat. But she don't bark as much, but she's real sneaky. She'll let somebody get up close to her, and my mom be like, no, I don't trust her." And she'll like watch at you like, if she don't know you.
playlist on van life with a dog, which I'll throw this in. And I have made a video about how I go shopping. So if you have any questions about that, please check it out. I'll try and put a link in the description here. Um, and I've also got a video about what I do at campsite for safety and things like that. But it can be restricting. So as we get to the warmer summer months, I'll do a lot more online shopping. I'll be in and out really quickly so it doesn't get too hot. On hot days, I just don't go shopping. I just not an option. So I have, yeah, there's lots of options like click and collect, things like that. But
Also, we stay in Augusta, which is like a small town, a little bit city, a little bit of country. It's a lot slower than Atlanta, a lot faster than Alabama, I would say. And yeah, definitely. And so a lot of the stores that she goes to, she know the people and they know my sister. So it depends on where you're at, and not only the dog size, because obviously they could sit in the back of the basket if it's a big dog and you're in a smaller town or whatever. And people sort of know the family, and everybody sort of know our family and sort of know her, and they ask about us, and they ask about Tiny when she's not with her or whatever. Or should I say my mom's pretty well known shopping, definitely shopping. Also, I just love dog. I became a dog lover because of my sister, and I noticed that I never liked no dogs licking my face, but I didn't know dogs really like that. So I really didn't understand the connection that people had with their dogs to the point where they'd be like, if something happened to the dog, they'd be like, let's have a real funeral. And I would used to be like, what's the big deal? I mean, they act like it was a person until I actually was around a dog a lot, which my sister, I had got a dog as well, but that dog wasn't as sweet as my sister. And so the my sister made me fall in love with dogs, and she could even lick my face. She can't lick my lips or nothing like that. I draw the line there. But it has came where she had made a mistake a couple of times in knowing, and learning not to lick my lips, just by licking my face. And then, but I love her so much. It's just like it wasn't no big rebuke because I know how smart she was. So I'm very aware of her feelings. And so it was just a little rebuke as far as me just moving back, like, and then that was enough to show her, I did something wrong. So now she know to lick like over here. And sometimes maybe she don't even want to lick my face, but I be looking forward to her licking my face. She wraps her arms around my arm. Like I put my arm out like to hold her, and I'm rubbing her tummy. And then she wraps her arms around my arm like this. And then I put my face down like this so that she can lick my face right here. Just so y'all know. I wanted to talk about her. Moving on.
it does get challenging. And I kind of relish the cooler months when I can just kind of walk around the shops for a bit longer. And I do really enjoy it. I really, really do. It's so funny. It's like, oh, I don't have to rush. I can, walk around. But and I guess it saves you money as well because you can't spend anything. So they are my pros and cons of van life with a dog. And
I
I'm
didn't
hugely enjoying.
know.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I had this.
No.
She started with me. Don't know what happen when she passes. I'm not sure what I'll do about getting another dog, but it's priceless.
Don't
It's just
fall
memories we have
apart.
together, company, companionship, the chats that we have, the cuddles. It's
Yeah,
just, it's so good. To me, it's all worth it.
yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Bye for me.
Enjoy her. She's very realistic and Brenna living joyfully. I noticed there's so many older van lifers and people who retire and ah, one thing that you would be so amazed by is how many women are van lifing. It is so, especially older women, solo. And Monday, I'm going to have a show about couples living in vans and how challenging that might be. Um, I've been trying to find a couple that's not living an influencer type of lifestyle, which makes it more beneficial to be in a relationship and share different things online because even if they get into squabbles that winds up being a big, big deal, um, just the sheer fact that they're earning money together would sort of keep a lid on that and keep them showing up on the camera a certain way. So I'm looking for people who's just starting out. Um, I did find one guy and this woman, but when I first found him, it was from 2 years ago. But when I went to look at their current stuff, he's now car lifing by himself. And so I wouldn't dare bring up that transition period. I didn't look for that transition period because um, once, as this shows, well, anyway, I wouldn't want to trigger any feelings for him once he finds out he's on the show. These people will find out they're on the show as I blow up. I have everybody's name on here, and people can easily say, "I found out about your channel." But I noticed when I first jumped in front of God, and that's why I'm not doing it now. When I found out that I was an empath, I'm like, I'm awakened. I'm an awakened empath. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a show about being awakened. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I didn't realize that, of course, in everything I do, I have to wait for God. And so I'm like, okay, so now I can start saying the thing, just basically talking about myself. And so that's what I started doing. But I lost interest in it fast because it didn't come from God. And someone had said something to me about it, and it just made me lose interest in it. I was just like, with several things, I'll be like, after somebody say something to me. But now I don't have nobody say nothing to me about nothing except God. I only have God ahead of me and guiding me and everything. And also, there was a time I really cared about certain people's opinions, and now the only opinion that matters is God. God is leading my life, and I'm in charge of my life now. So that's really good, and it's very good to be learn patience with my journey and not have to just like the people who starting out in their vehicles, they're just sort of figuring things out, life out or whatever, and they're not trying to get advice and find out, well, what if this happens, what if that happens. No, they just go through it and see what happens, and then they sort of make a checklist. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, this will work. And then they get so good at it. I'm sure, well, with me, God is leading my path, but they get so good at it where they can even give advice themselves of what works for them. But one thing I find is that the people who are doing dog life with the living with pets in the vehicle is they pretty much have the same advice once they really get to know their animals. It's just pretty much said in different spectrums and different ways or whatever. But you sort of get a feel after hearing a few people, you sort of get a feel for the overall picture of what they're saying. Is what the Bible verse that I had today was, is like having your own children. It's just like you would, of course, you're not going to, yeah, it's like having your own children. You're completely responsible for a pet if you get a pet. And you have to have your life sort of around based around what guardrails to places they can go or not. And if they can't go certain places, they do have doggy daycare some places or whatever. And but when they're so used to living with you, you see they haven't brought nobody has brought that up. But there are some cons, but as you see, the pros totally outweigh the cons. Just like having a child, it's sort of hard to even mention the cons. She was able to come up with quite a few. I was like, okay, that's enough. But she had actually, I did show all her pros, but she had a few pros. It's just that she's being realistic, and she's had more challenges than other people have had because she's staying in Alaska. I don't know if we have the same with the national parks or whatever. But those are my influencers for the day. I have Brenna Living Joyfully, Nomadic Habits. I do have another gentleman, and I really enjoy him, always Dante. And I'm going to show him briefly. And then I was trying to show you guys LJ and Ori, but you guys can go check out that channel. Um, that's not him. Where is he? I might. Let's see if that's him. I'm gonna double check and see. I just want to, if that is him, I want to steer you guys in this direction too. It's either this one. No, that's not him because I believe he had a bulldog. No.
She knows I'm leaving. Doesn't know if she's coming with me or not. And she's following me everywhere. I went to the bathroom, she was there.
That's not his.
I walk the living room, she follows me,
She's so cute.
and she's so smart. Sometimes I'm not saying Sam is not smart. Yeah, I mean he's the pretty boy. He's filled with lots
I
of
get
children,
stuck. I get
but
stuck.
definitely not as smart.
Look at she keeping her eyes on him. He may have some fun. That's not where I'm going. Okay, so I think it's hey. Who is she? Mm, slowly discover and finding you, I'm finding me. Okay, I don't see him. Moving on. I have my time. No, no worries. Anyway, yesterday I saw an odd thing. Have you guys ever seen on YouTube when somebody is live where you can see them recording live? I've only seen that on TikTok. But yesterday I saw people while they're recording live, and it wasn't being recorded that I was watching. It didn't say one person watching. I was watching them as I was going up, but when I stopped, it didn't record the fact that I'm watching them. And today I added a thumbnail. Yesterday was the first time I didn't add a thumbnail, a picture of me, besides my usual picture. And so today I made sure to add the thumbnail. And I don't know if that's happening now, but if it is, that's the first time I've ever seen it. I have had to, when I've seen somebody live, I've had to go inside and see if they're talking, they're just sort of rambling or if they're actually talking about something. So I would peek in and see what they're talking about. And then it pushed me out in like 5 seconds. The only place I've ever seen that sites is on TikTok. They don't do it on Instagram, and I didn't think they did it here. Because that's sort of what makes them be able to record how many people are watching, and you know what I'm saying, and how many people is being recorded that they are, what I'm saying, for your live videos. Saying, okay, while this person was live, they had this many people watching. So during that time, without no commercial, no ad breaks or anything, this person brought people to the YouTube stage. And so we have to record that and we have to put that with their monetization. But no, it was just open yesterday. And I was just like, wow, I've never seen that before. But strange things always happen to me. I mean, that I have never seen before. I always see strange things. And sometimes it's best that I don't mention them because in my past, people have tried to make me look like something wrong, like I'm crazy or something. So a lot of times I just don't mention the things I see that looks peculiar. But unless they're peculiar enough for me to prove, you know. So like if I screenshot something that I seen that was peculiar, then I could say it. But that was weird to me. But today I put a picture. Moving on. Anyway, um, tomorrow I will be doing a sum up of this week. I want to thank all my new subscribers, or should I say my new loved ones, my new supporters that has decided to join this community and the building of this community. And as we build this community, there will come a time where some of you will comment. And when you do, I'm looking forward to getting to know you and you getting to know me more. I have a lot of videos on here, but there are a lot of shorts. And so you haven't been able to get to really know me, but you have been able to get to know my comedic side as far as what I find funny and what I take interest in. If you look through my videos, I've been on here for 3 years. And so I have, at least 1,000 videos on YouTube. So if you'd like to get to know me a little bit better, I also have some when I had my ministry, The Lord's Love Live, on here as well. And that was on 2004 when the Lord had me from spring until after Christmas. He had me learning the Bible and he had me speaking because that was the first time I ever learned the Bible on my own without. I started learning on my own before then, but then he had me start going live and speaking about what the Holy Spirit would lead me to speak about. So that was a ministry and teaching, not in preaching. Um, so I'm not really sure where I stand on um, women preaching because my pastor always been a woman preaching and everything. But I've only seen a couple of things, I heard a couple of things. But in my case, it was teaching, and so that's that. And so, thank you guys for joining me today. And I pray you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.